Our story begins with an aging man named Paddy, a former fighter and recovering alcoholic who spends his quiet days patrolling the streets of a small town. One evening, he returns home and is shocked to find his youngest son, Tom, waiting for him. It has been 14 years since they last saw each other. But Tom hasn't come to reconnect. He's come carrying years of pain and anger. When Tom was a child, Paddy's drinking turned him into a violent man who abused Tom's mother. Unable to live through the nightmare any longer, Tom left home with her and cut all ties with his father. Now standing face to face again, Paddy insists he's changed and claims he hasn't touched alcohol in years. But Tom doesn't believe him. Some wounds, he says, never truly heal. Before leaving, Tom asks about his older brother Brendan, a question that fills Paddy with guilt. Elsewhere, Brendan is living a completely different life. He's a physics teacher trying to provide for his wife Tess and their 2 daughters. During his daughter's birthday celebration, the family shares smiles and laughter, but beneath it all lies financial stress. Tess worries because they spent more money than they could afford. Later, Brendan meets with a financial advisor who delivers devastating news. If he cannot pay off their loan within 4 weeks, the bank will take their home away. Desperate to save his family, Brendan secretly returns to underground fighting, something he promised Tess he would never do again. Years earlier, he had been a talented MMA fighter, but he left that world behind for his family. Now, with no other option, he steps back into the cage. The fights are brutal, but every round he survives earns him money. When he returns home bruised and battered, Tess immediately realizes the truth. Instead of yelling, she tearfully tells him she can lose the house, but she cannot lose him. Meanwhile, Tom discovers an upcoming international MMA tournament called Sparta. The winner will receive $5 million. Determined to compete, Tom joins a local gym. There, he encounters an arrogant fighter named Mad Dog who humiliates challengers for fun. The gym coach offers $200 to anyone who can beat him. Tom enters the cage without hesitation and destroys Mad Dog within seconds, shocking everyone watching. Soon after, Tom returns to Paddy with a request. He wants Paddy to train him for Sparta. Although years of hatred still exist between them, Tom knows his father is the best trainer he could find. Paddy agrees, hoping this might finally rebuild the broken relationship with his son. Before training begins, Paddy forces Tom to hand over all his pills and substances, refusing to let him rely on addiction. At the same time, Brendan's underground fight video goes viral online. His students, co-workers, and school administrators all discover that their quiet physics teacher is secretly an MMA fighter. The principal suspends Brendan immediately. With no job and no way to save the house, Brendan decides he must fully commit to fighting again. Brendan reaches out to his old trainer Frank and asks for help. Frank hesitates because Brendan has been away from the sport for years, but after Frank's main fighter suffers an injury, Brendan gets his chance to enter Sparta. Tess is terrified when she hears the news. She knows the tournament is filled with dangerous professionals capable of killing a man inside the cage. But Brendan assures her he'll survive. As the Sparta tournament begins, fighters from around the world arrive to compete for the massive prize money. The atmosphere is electric. That's when Brendan spots Tom across the arena for the first time in years. Tom refuses to acknowledge him, still furious over the past. Tom quickly becomes the tournament's biggest attraction. Fight after fight, he destroys opponents with terrifying speed and power. The audience sees him as an unstoppable war hero. Meanwhile, Brendan surprises everyone with his calm, technical fighting style. Despite being underestimated, he keeps winning against stronger opponents. Eventually, only 4 fighters remain: Tom, Brendan, Mad Dog, and an undefeated monster named Koba. Tom crushes Mad Dog once again and advances to the finals. Brendan then faces Koba in a brutal semi-final match. Koba dominates most of the fight, slamming Brendan around the cage like a rag doll. But Brendan refuses to quit. In the final round, he spots an opening and locks Koba into a perfect armbar. For the first time ever, Koba taps out. The world is stunned when the announcers reveal that the 2 finalists are actually brothers. The final fight begins violently. Tom attacks Brendan with pure rage, overwhelming him with brutal punches. Brendan struggles to survive the first round. Between rounds, his trainer tells him he cannot match Tom's power and must instead tire him out. In the next round, Brendan uses strategy rather than strength. He dodges Tom's attacks, forcing him to waste energy. Finally, Brendan catches Tom in an armbar. But Tom refuses to tap out. Brendan tightens the hold until Tom's shoulder painfully dislocates. Brendan immediately regrets hurting his brother. Through tears, he apologizes over and over. But Tom still refuses to quit. Even with one useless arm, he stands up ready to continue fighting. Watching from the sidelines, Paddy silently begs Brendan to end it. Finally, Brendan locks Tom into a chokehold while whispering that he loves him. Exhausted, broken, and finally letting go of his anger, Tom taps out. Brendan wins the tournament, but victory means nothing compared to the moment that follows. Instead of celebrating, he kneels beside his brother and hugs him tightly. For the first time in years, the 2 brothers finally forgive each other. Nearby, Paddy watches with tears in his eyes as his shattered family finally begins to heal again.